Welcome to this explainer on mastering the care of the Fishtail Sword Fern. We've got a lot of ground to cover, from dialing in the ideal daily conditions to expert-level propagation. So let's just jump right in and get you the complete blueprint for transforming your indoor jungle.
So what makes this fern so special? It all comes down to those signature bifurcated leaves. That little split at the end of every single frond gives it this gorgeous, graceful, weeping fishtail vibe. And here's the best part, especially for those of you with free roommates, this plant is 100% non-toxic to cats and dogs.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll meet the fern, set up the perfect environment, go over the essential daily care, solve some common fern problems, and wrap it all up with expert tips and propagation.
Section 1. Meet the fishtail fern. This evergreen beauty actually hails from the lush, ultra-humid rainforests of Southeast Asia and Australia. So you're essentially bringing a literal slice of the tropics right into your living room. You can expect it to reach a really nice bushy size, about 2 to 3 feet in both height and spread. It's also a perennial, meaning with the right care, this plant can easily thrive by your side for over a decade. Now, keep in mind, like all ferns, it doesn't flower. It reproduces via spores. You'll sometimes spot these as little brown dots on the undersides of the leaves. Actually, a lot of people mistake those for bugs, so don't panic if you see them.
Section 2. Setting the perfect environment. Think about the dappled sunlight on a forest floor. That is exactly the vibe your fern is looking for. Bright, indirect sunlight is the ultimate goal here. An east-facing window is usually ideal because it gives the plant that really gentle morning sun. You could also place it a few feet back from a south or west-facing window. But whatever you do, avoid harsh, direct sunlight. Direct sun will literally scorch those delicate fronds in no time, leaving them totally bleached and crispy. Temperature-wise, we are aiming for a cozy 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Since it is a tropical plant, frost is an absolute deal breaker. You strictly want to avoid letting the temp drop anywhere below 55 degrees. Oh, and definitely keep it far away from sudden drafts. We're talking open windows in the winter or blasted AC vents in the summer. 50%. Remember that number because it's the absolute minimum humidity threshold your fern needs to survive. High humidity is practically non-negotiable if you want that lush, healthy look. Dry indoor air is the #1 culprit for those frustrating brown, crispy edges on the leaves. So if your home is on the drier side, you're absolutely going to need to boost that moisture. Moving on to Section 3, Essential Daily Care Guide. Watering a fern is kind of like a balancing act. The soil must be consistently moist, but never ever soggy. A solid rule of thumb is to wait until the top inch of soil feels just slightly dry to the touch, and then give it a thorough soak. If you're overwatering, your plant will definitely let you know with yellowing fronds and a mushy base. Underwatering, the fronds will wilt, but they'll feel dry, crispy, and brown at the edges. And here's a massive pro tip for you. Ferns can be highly sensitive to the chemicals in standard tap water. Try to use filtered, distilled, or rainwater whenever possible to avoid mineral buildup. For the absolute best potting mix, you'll want to use this exact ratio. Think of it as a recipe. Half peat moss or cocoa coir to lock in that essential moisture, a quarter perlite or orchid bark to give you excellent aeration and drainage, and a quarter compost for rich organic matter. Put that all together and you've got a slightly acidic, airy blend that perfectly mimics the forest floor. When it comes to feeding, these ferns aren't super greedy, but they definitely appreciate a nutrient boost during their active growing seasons in spring and summer. Grab a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer, but, and this is crucial, always dilute it to half the recommended strength to avoid burning the roots. Feed it every 4 to 6 weeks, and then totally cut off the fertilizer during the fall and winter dormancy. And hey, don't be shy about pruning. Be ruthless with old yellow or brown fronds. Snip them cleanly right at the soil line. That tells the plant to direct all its energy into pushing out brand new bushy growth. Section 4. Solving common fern problems. Let's play plant doctor for a second and decode what your fern is trying to tell you. Brown, crispy edges, your air is too dry. Pale, washed out leaves, it's getting way too much direct sunlight. Leggy, sparse growth that's stretching out, it desperately needs more ambient light. And if it's suddenly dropping healthy-looking leaflets, the soil probably dried out completely, sending the plant into full panic mode. Now, here's a critical warning sign to watch for. If the soil is wet, but the plant is still limp and wilting, you are likely looking at severe root rot, which means the roots are too damaged to take up water anymore. Because the fishtail fern's foliage is so wonderfully dense, it's basically a luxury hotel for pests.
You really need to make it a habit to inspect the crown of the plant and the undersides of the leaves. Keep an eye out for the fine webbing of spider mites when the air is dry, the white cottony fuzz of mealybugs deep in the crown, or hard brown bumps from scale insects along the stems. Also, because you're keeping the soil moist, you might see fungus gnats hovering around. If you spot any of these invaders, immediately isolate your fern and treat it thoroughly with horticultural soap.
All right, home stretch. Section 5, expert tips and propagation. Multiplying your fishtail sword fern is super rewarding, and spring is absolutely the best time to do it. The easiest method is just straight up division. When you're repotting a crowded mature fern, take the root ball and gently pull it apart into 2 or more sections. Just make sure each section has healthy roots and fronds. Alternatively, keep an eye out for these long, fuzzy runners called stolons that the mother plant shoots out. You can actually pin a runner down into a separate small pot of soil right next to the mother plant. Once it develops its own root system, you just snip the cord and boom, you have a brand new independent plant.
Let's recap with a few absolute must-dos to ensure your success. First, fight that dry indoor air by using humidifiers or pebble trays. Second, keep those spectacular leaves clean so they can actually breathe and photosynthesize. A really gentle shower with lukewarm water is perfect for washing away dust. Third, never ever compromise on drainage. Your pot has to have drainage holes. And lastly, plan to repot your fern into fresh soil every 1 to 2 years once it becomes root-bound. That's the secret to maintaining that stunning bushy vitality.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a look around your living space. Where are you going to put your new fishtail fern to get that perfect dappled morning light? And will you take a quick second to check your home's humidity today to make sure it hits that 50% sweet spot? Keep these foundational tips in your back pocket, and I guarantee you'll have a thriving, lush piece of the rainforest in your home for years to come.